So, proof that black women are the problem? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So, this was a video that went viral on social media. Now, for those who didn't see the video and you don't know what's happening, essentially this incident takes place at a prom. Originally, it was reported to be a wedding, but upon further investigation, this was actually a prom. I don't know what school this was, but it was a prom. Now, the black female, as y'all saw in the video, basically started twerking and backing it up on some dude. And then the kid came in and pushed her. Now, the kid was her son. So this woman acting like this and behaving like that with her son around. And not only that, but for some reason, black females can't leave this behavior in appropriate places like the club. You know, the ratchet black females, they have to not only do this in the clubs, they have to do it at proms. You know, they have to do it at block parties around kids and the elderly. But this right here, this behavior you saw with this woman is the cause of the problems in the black community. And I've seen this far too many times. You know, these girls, when they're young, 10, 11, 12, they want to be grown, they want to be fast, they want to act like adults when they're young. And then they miss out on their childhood. As a result of this, they spend a good percentage of their early adulthood trying to be a child that they never were. And while they're trying to be a child, somewhere along the line, they got children and had children. And now you have children or adults acting like children, trying to raise children, which is a bad combination. That's a terrible recipe. And all it does is perpetuate the problem, because their children, their daughters will act the same way and be the same way while they're trying to be young. And if you watch the video, again, the kid is acting more adult than she is. He has an instinct in him. And again, I don't know how old this kid is. I'm guessing he had to be maybe, like I said, between 11 to 13. Just before, maybe in junior high school, just before getting to high school, I'm guessing. But he had an instinct, the natural instinct to protect his mother, and it got to the point where he literally started to cry at the fact that his mother would do something like that, and then she starts laughing. So does anybody believe that this woman, this female, I'm not gonna say woman, this female is capable of raising children? Like, what life can she give him when she's acting like a child? And God forbid if she have daughters who are probably more likely gonna grow up in the same culture and perpetuate the same cycle. And this right here, as I said, this behavior that you see right here is the cause of the problem in the black community, why the black community is failing, because women like this with that mentality are raising a majority of the kids. They're raising majority of the children, and they're all clustered up in the same areas. And this is why these areas are economically poor, why the crime rate is so high, why these areas and communities doesn't seem to be able to get out of its own way, because of the mentality that's created by what you saw displayed from this woman. Even the most hard up thug is not going to embarrass his daughter like that. He is not going to want his daughter dancing on some dude like that. The most hard up thug, the most hardest Pookie and Riri that we always talk about, will protect his children at least, and not have his children being embarrassed by that type of behavior. But somehow black females don't seem to have that sense of urgency with him. And again, not all females, but unfortunately way too many. Now, the question I have for all of the panders out there, like Dr. Umar Johnson, is I want to know exactly, how is this my fault as a black man? Explain to me how this woman twerking and on this dude in an inappropriate setting around her son, how is that my fault? Now, the panderers would ask, well, where are the men? Why aren't the men out here fixing the black community? Well, first and foremost, the black men out here living their lives. And we've seen the numbers that indicate that black men aren't struggling in America, but black men are offering their protection to the black community. Black men are trying to save the black community, such as Kevin Samuels. You know, black men repeatedly say, hey, ladies, black females, you black queens, quote unquote, marry before you carry. Okay, if you're going to have children, make sure you are married and someone who's going to be there to help you raise those children. You know, stop messing with the Pookies and the Ray Rays, who are going to do nothing but impregnate you and not be there to help you raise those children. And stop referring to all the good men out here as lames. Okay, if you call the good men lames, the men who are going to be there with you to help you raise children, to create families, and you chose to go mess with the dudes who don't, you're making a free will decision to do so. And at that point in time, you're rejecting my protection. If I'm giving you the advice and you don't want to heed the advice, well, I can't really take any more responsibility beyond that, because you're not under my covering. Again, protection starts with advice and correction. If you can't get past that basic point, well, I can't do nothing for you. And again, so all the people who ask, why aren't the black men doing anything? Well, the black men are. The black men are starting with the first step, offering the protection and trying to correct, and when black women don't want to be corrected. So at that point, all we do is wash your hands. You know, we're advising them what to do. So you can't say that black men aren't trying to do anything. And at this point, I don't see why black men should, until black females, you know, who voluntarily took themselves from under the covering of black men. You want the black community to get better, where they're going to have the voluntary put themselves back under the covering of men, black men, and everything that goes along with that. The question is, are they wanted to do that? But lastly, though, I would like to call out the guy in this video, the Hispanic dude. He posted a video, I took a little man's mom, but that's a complete lack of maturity. Absolute lack of maturity. I don't know who this dude is. You know, he apparently has like over 2 million subscribers, but you know, that is an absolute lack of maturity on his part to say something like that. Now, I would wonder, well, where are the adults around in his area to correct that in his head? Was he raised by a single mother? Was he raised under a bad culture that, again, the men are trying to change, but the women just refuse to listen? Anyway, that behavior that you saw from this woman is exactly why the black community is in the shape it is, exactly why the hood, we have this notion of a hood, is being perpetuated by that behavior. It was started by black females leaving the covering of black men, and it's perpetuated by that behavior you saw. And this is standard behavior in the hood, and that's why they're hoods in the first place. So this is not black men's problem. Again, black men offer protection. Kevin Samuels offered his protection. They celebrated on his grave, so they don't want it. They want to be strong and independent. Ain't my fault. All the panders can go straight to hell. Dr. Umar Johnson goes straight to hell with that foolishness. But here's your evidence that the problem is black women. It is black women, not black men. And as always, y'all, until next time.